I don't want to put words in your mouth, but do you feel like you kind of created a better system?
I mean, I think so.
Yeah, I kind of think so, maybe too.
No,
so what happens if you miss your RPE 10 set? You get Darko comes and whacks you with this thing.
Since we came back from Home Gym Con, I kind of went a little berserk in upgrading a lot of the stuff in the gym.
Massenomics.
What's up, everyone? We are here with Big Darko in California to do a tour of his home gym. This is a really cool one. We've been walking around for just a couple minutes checking things out, and this is a sweet home gym tour. You're going to really like what he's got to show us. Darko, thanks for letting us come check it out. How long have you had the home gym?
Home gym started right around 2020. Started buying a couple small things before COVID, and then COVID happened, and then it kind of turned into this.
It's gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
Is what's happened. This is sweet. You have an awesome looking home gym.
Oh,
you
thank
certainly
you.
have a theme going on here. A lot of cool stuff. The primary theme of Darko's home gym is he makes a lot of stuff himself. You know, he 3D prints. He's cutting uprights, what we talked about, and there's so many little custom pieces and so many little things we're going to check out. It's cool. First of all, what we're standing on, the one and only horse stall mats, of course, right? No one had to tell you what to do there. You just knew horse stall mats.
No home gym's complete without some stall mats.
Yep. So you did well there. You used the tape on in between. Also, really good lighting in your home gym too. We were talking about that. It is like a beacon of light coming from the outside. It's just like sucking you into the Darko home gym. Okay, first things first, you got a piece of cardio equipment here.
I do have a treadmill. As you can tell, it's not plugged in. That doesn't get used very often.
Okay.
I was supposed to do a Spartan race, and that ended up not happening. So
okay. That's
kind of just sits here. It usually collects boxes now.
Yeah, you can hang stuff on it. It's a coat rack. So is that your one piece of cardio equipment? So if you're going to do cardio, it's the treadmill, or you live in California, you just go for a walk outside. Yeah. It's nice here every day.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Leg press. What brand is the leg press?
So this is the Signature Fitness leg press from Walmart.
Okay.
I mainly got it. They had a flash deal for.
Wasn't it really affordable?
It was like $4.50 shipped.
Right.
And I liked it just because I don't have a ton of room in my gym. So having the top horn section just allows me to put all my plates up there without having these basically horns sticking out, which would then block both of my walkways.
Right. So is this fairly new, this leg press?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably in the last month or two. Yeah, in the last month or two I got this in.
Talked about the weight horns, and then you've got the rep, what do they call these kind of rep plates?
So these are the equalizers.
Okay.
Just the steel version. Made in USA plates, which is cool. That's one of the few products that Rep makes here in the United States. Just needed something because I'm not using that longer weight horn on the side.
Right.
I needed something a little bit thinner for the leg press versus the deep dishes.
But you could use the longer, that's an option then. Is that what I'm seeing here?
Yeah,
that
correct.
You can use weight horns on the side? What are the pulleys for down here?
So that's kind of just like a hack I put together, just based on how much weight I can get on here.
Okay.
And so basically these pulleys can connect to the pulleys on my rack, and you can kind of turn it into a selectorized leg press.
So you're saying you pull all the way from here to there?
Yeah, well, so I have some basically spare cables that you can just route in.
Okay.
I'm still kind of tinkering with that. It works, but at the bottom, when you're done with a set, you kind of get stuck at the bottom like you would with the selectorized leg press.
Okay, gotcha. The garbage truck was here picking up all your gym equipment garbage. They're like, Darko's house again, all these boxes and stuff that he's got here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. That is a space-efficient leg press, too. So $450, you'd say worth it so far?
Oh, yeah. Even at double that price, it probably would have been worth it.
Yeah.
But at $450, I couldn't afford not to.
You can't afford not to. What is your plate selectorized leg extension machine? Is this a leg extension and leg curl?
Seated leg extension, lying leg curl.
Yeah.
This is from Paramount Fitness. I just picked this up on Facebook Marketplace a while ago. I replaced all the original pads with Rep Fitness pads. So the ones, those are actually for like an AB 3100 bench. And those are their GHD replacement pads that I use for the leg rollers.
Okay.
But just cleaned it up. I mean, it works.
What's the Southern California Facebook Marketplace scene like? I mean, is there stuff all the time? Like you look every day, there's different stuff.
Yeah, all the time.
There's more than there is in South Dakota, probably. Okay, then, well, you got your TV there. Are you typically watching stuff while you train or while you're working here or anything, or what do you?
Yeah, that's pretty much on almost all day. My main workstation is on the other side of the garage. And so I either watching TV or just playing music.
Yeah,
or watching a lot of YouTube videos.
Now, like what I like to tell everyone, now that this video will exist, you'll just have this video on repeat all the time. It'll just be like Inception, you watching us have this conversation over and over and over again.
Is this just storage?
Yeah, so a little bit of storage back there. Try to make use of every place I can just to store product. That's just kind of one that's hidden out of the way, but yeah, that just holds a bunch of shorty bars back there.
So Darko makes a whole bunch of products that you have for sale. What's the website? It's
DarkoLifting.com.
DarkoLifting.com, and he said the shorty bar. So is that finished product back there? Or is that work in progress product?
Those are all work in progress at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, and that's the shorty bar, which I see you had more of those back there.
Yeah.
So what is the shorty bar for anyone that doesn't know? I guess we can grab. Yeah.
Yeah. So the shorty bar is basically, it's like a D handle bar. Kind of similar to the gym pin. Prime Fitness has some. The one thing that was different about my bar when I came out with it is it had the landmine hole. So instead of having a couple different attachments, you can use just one attachment for all your D handle grip stuff and your landmine work.
Wow. I actually didn't understand. I did never realize the landmine thing. That is good.
Yeah, so a little bit of multi-purpose.
Yes.
And then you have different sizes? Is that...
Yeah, so we have the tiny bar up top, shorty bar in the middle, and then a longy bar on the bottom. All three of those come in black powder coat or stainless steel. I went ahead and did a little grind pattern on my longy just for fun.
How'd you come up with the names?
So the shorty bar, that was the first one, and I was like, it's a short bar, and it's a T-bar, so it's a short T-bar. And then I just got
short T-bar.
Yeah. And then I kind of just got silly. I'm like, what's longer than a shorty bar? A longy bar.
I asked because I love the naming. That's why I bring it up. But yeah, that's cool. I didn't even mention, Tommy. This isn't just a home gym. This is a Massenomics certified training facility that we're in here today. So
sign of quality.
That's how you know it's good. It wasn't the equipment and all the cool stuff you made that gave it away. It was that screams it. Okay, then we're over in this area. This is all basically constructed by you, correct? Like you're using various uprights. You talked about like a rep shelf, rogue pieces. I don't know who these uprights are, if they're rep or rogue.
Yeah, so a combination of like rep uprights. I had a standalone Rhino, so I used some of the Rhino uprights, kettlebell shelf. So just a lot of different parts from different companies.
Right.
Just spares that I had, and figured I could make myself like a little accessory station of sorts.
What is this seat? Like who or what is this that we're looking at here?
So that's one of my products. It's actually, I retired it. The sales weren't great, but it's called the Voodoo. And so for like a cable station like this.
Right.
So there's pads on the bottom, so you can use it as a leg roller to hold your legs down for lat pull downs.
Right.
And basically, you can then take your bench, back it up a little bit. This will rotate down. And then you can use it as a foot plate for low rows instead of sitting on the ground.
Right.
That was kind of the main reason I designed it, is I just didn't... Most home gym lat pull downs, low rows, have you sitting on the ground.
Right.
And
now you can sit on your bench.
Now I can sit on my bench.
Yeah.
Just a little bit quality of life improvement there.
Right. That's cool. Then you've got, I think we're going to do a separate video on this, so we won't talk about it that much, but we won't show it off that much, but you've got the Beyond Power Vultra.
Yes.
And then this is...
So that's from
too?
That's from Beyond Power. That's like their lat extension, just to get a little extra height on a lat pull down. And so that's kind of their standard mount that's on there right now.
Okay.
The Vultra's on a sliding mount, so that would kind of work like a column cable, essentially.
Right.
So yeah, it kind of replicates like a Prime single stack, or like the Rep Adonis.
Right.
It's probably a little bit more expensive than those, but
right. We'll talk more about it. Check out the other video that we either have coming before this, after this, in some order, and we're going to talk specifically about that. We'll try it out and see what we think about it. See if it's worth the price tag. Maybe it is. Very popular right now. You've got the Repin 120-pound dumbbells, and the cart is Darko original, correct?
Yeah, so that was put together using some dumbbell trays from Oak Club and then a bunch of just uprights and cross members that I had sitting around again.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just collecting them at this point. So yeah, I just got my angle grinder out and started just making some cuts and yeah, bolting that thing together. It uses some 3D, some 3D printed parts as well. Things like the wedges between the uprights to create that angle.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, a little, the repping start at 10 pounds. I wanted some 5 pounds. My kids come out here on occasion.
Ah, that's why you have the 5-pounders
Yeah.
below. That actually makes a lot of sense. You need, then you 3D printed those saddles
Yeah.
for the 5s to sit on there. That's cool.
So kind of just keeps everything together with my dumbbells. And then there's like little holders underneath the trays as well for the adder weights for the reppins.
So when you obviously relatively recently got the Reppins. Before that, did you have any dumbbells, or did you get rid of some dumbbells because now you have the Reppins, or what?
So I had the Nuo bells.
Okay. Okay.
Which are nice and great. I mean, I never had a problem with them personally,
Right.
just because I don't typically drop my dumbbells.
Right. You're not throwing them to the other side
Yeah.
of the gym.
But I went to Home Gym Con last year and I saw these and I'm like, nah, I gotta have them.
Yeah. So this feels like an upgrade, though.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I mean, to me, those are the best adjustables on the market, hands down.
Yeah.
But no, Nuo bells are nice.
Right. Just not as nice.
Just not as nice.
Okay. You've got wall control behind me.
Yeah.
It's absolutely covered in stuff. Point out to me what on here are any of these your products? I don't know. Is there any new stuff that people aren't allowed to see yet, or we have to
No,
blur
everything
anything out?
on there is good.
Okay, you were talking about this.
Yeah, so
you're
those-
making one of these called?
Yeah, those are called the danglers.
Yep, I get it.
Just a little touch there, Tanner. Yeah. How they fit in the hand. Oh, yeah, very nice.
So that's a newer product. People can order those in a variety of different colors.
Yep.
See, on that wall, I'm trying to think of any other products of mine that are on there.
Did we see these at Juji Mufu's house or something? I could have sworn
I think so.
we looked at these with somebody in a video.
Yeah, so because I have like the shorty bar, I basically collect all these different type of D handles at this point. So there's Prime Kaz handles, the track handles, Prime Fitness Rotate handles. We got some from Belt Fed.
Oh yeah.
Single, I forget what they call them.
Is this
Single something.
This is a calf.
Yeah, so that's a calf block that I made.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's kind of like one of the first things I really ever made for the gym.
Right.
Probably should have made it a little bit bigger, but at this point it looks cool, so I'll just leave it.
I see back here on your chalk bowl you've got some belt-fed belts that look cool. Look like you had them made for you. Those are pretty sweet.
Yeah, I got the splatter belt for me. The Never Ending Story one with Falcor is my wife's belt. Yeah, Randy and Chris just do amazing work.
Yeah, obviously they do. Your Rogue bench. What's this Rogue bench called? Just standard.
This is the Rogue Adjustable Bench 3.0.
3.0.
Yeah.
But yours is a little special. Yours is a little different, right? So what's going on with yours?
Yeah, so it normally comes with 11-inch, they call it a premium texture foam pad. 11-inch wasn't really working for me.
Yeah.
I like a wider pad. So I basically commissioned a guy that makes my thresher pads to create these bench pads for me. It's a 13-inch wide pad. The 14, for me, I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but a little bit bigger than most.
Yeah.
So I wanted the 13-inch pad, which is nice for incline work at the same time. But it uses the same material as the Thompson Fat Pad.
Yeah.
So it's the gripper vinyl, and went with the white trim just to continue the theme of.
Well, the white really pops
Yeah.
in here. It does really pop in here, and we'll see that when you're looking at when everyone's watching the rack here. Speaking of the white, you've got you customize these roller J cups, and even the rollers are white.
Yeah, these are Ghost rollers when they were still Ghost before Rogue bought them. Just put on some new a little bit of logo stuff on the backing, and went with just the flat white roller for now. Just testing those out a little bit. Not sure if those will ever fully make it to market, but just something for my gym.
All right, then let's talk about the cable situation you have on this. I don't even want to try to explain the various parts that companies and parts and pieces that you have assembled. I'm going to let you explain this. So usually I like to kind of guess what's going on, and in this case, I'm like, I don't even know where to start. So, so you tell us what's going on with these.
So this is a combination of a few different companies. It mainly starts with the Rogue Slinger up top, and that's connected to a weight stack down here.
Where's the weight stack from? Or
the weight stack is from Rogue Fitness as well. But so the difference is that mine uses these, they're called cable retractors from Dialed Motion. And essentially what it allows me to do is have a column cable on my rack using basically a single cable versus having to route, a bunch of different pulleys.
Because the cable is, when it comes back in, it's retracted and coiled up inside of that cable retractor right now.
Correct.
It's a way cleaner finished product, I guess is what I would say.
Yeah.
In a way.
It's a lot cleaner. It should essentially work on every rack versus kind of, if you buy a rep rack, you kind of get stuck with having to buy an Aries or an Athena or something like that, or with the Rogue racks, you kind of get stuck buying their stuff. So with the one cable, it kind of allows this to be more of a universal pulley system.
Right. So if you wanted, these are on trolleys here. The handles are on trolleys. So if you wanted to change this default position where it's trolleyed, you would unlock this, move this, unlock the, what'd you call this, the cable retractor?
Yes.
Unlock the cable retractor, move this down, lock it back, and then that's your set position where it's going to actually pull. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little bit different than most people's cable systems. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, so some people might not like that part of it.
Okay. Because it's heavy or light. Then what's the?
So there's kind of two ways of looking at it. On a 2-to-1, you either got to have a 300-pound stack on there to only get 150-pound.
Right. That's
weight.
Worse, right? So you need more weight to get the same level of resistance.
But if you're doing things like flies, where you're going to start a little bit lighter,
right? You don't have as much.
A 1-to-1. A 1-to-1 then has your starting weight.
You're heavy at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you just got to get stronger. Right?
Or get stronger. Yeah. I made some adjustments, so you can see these plates up top are 5-pound plates.
So that's not standard.
That's not standard.
Of course you made some adjustments.
Yeah. So at least for my setup, even the starting weight is only 10 pounds.
I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but do you feel like you kind of created a better system than what's available standard through the other manufacturers?
I mean, I think so.
Yeah, I kind of think so, maybe too.
It made a lot of sense.
You're convincing me. Yeah.
And did you say, can you remove a pulley for that pull down?
Yeah, so if you wanted to use this as like a lat pull down where you want the height, basically this kind of comes out, and then you can hear that cable retractor, and then this is where your pull is going to start now. So that way you have just a high lat pull down, especially if you're using something like a long year shorty bar where you have these D handles, you're losing a lot of vertical height that way. It's nice just to get your pulley as high as you can.
Just pointing out a couple small things. Obviously, the Massenomics ammonia. I gotta say, what this is a cut off part of an upright I see. I think this is a magnet on the back.
Yeah, there's a magnet.
There's a magnet on it, so I like the looks of that thing. Also, you have your Home Gym Con badge.
Yeah.
You'll be set up at Home Gym Con again this summer.
Yeah, correct.
In Louisville. Do you know what the date is for sure?
I think it's June 28th, 29th.
So you'll have a booth set up.
Yeah, I'll have my booth.
We're at the time of recording this, we're several months out. Are you at all prepared yet, or do you have a lot of work? Yeah,
I haven't done anything yet.
That's future Darko's problem. Don't worry
I'm
about.
not going to worry about that.
But
yet.
Anyone that's coming to Home Gym Con can visit you and stop by the Darko booth, correct?
Yeah. No, I basically modeled that right off my drink spotter, which is over here.
Yes, yeah. You got this one too.
Like, what do I do with this little piece of upright?
Yeah, I was looking at that. I'm like, I know what that is. Yeah. So then your rack is a 4-post, 1-inch hole. Is this a?
Yeah. So this is a Rogue RM3.
Yeah. Okay.
At its base. Later on, I added the pulley systems myself. I got a standalone Rhino, which I then put in the rack just to save a little bit of room in the garage.
So that's a standalone Rhino that you turned into the.
Correct.
Was that is that easily done? Like, could anyone do that, or is that okay?
Yeah.
So the standalone one can be easily made into one that mounts.
Yeah, it's just removing some uprights and some cross members.
Okay.
So I mean, it's simple. It took me about 8 hours just to move everything around.
Right.
And,
Well,
you know,
you're also like disassembling your rack,
Yeah.
kind of, and so
a bit of a
not
process.
not easy necessarily. You also have a Voltra mount.
Yeah, so
down
Beyond
there.
Power, I just, when you buy them, it comes with two, so I knew
Okay.
one was going on the lap pull down. I didn't really have a good idea for that one yet, but I'm like, I might use it for, if I connect the Voltra down there, I can use my bench to do chest-supported rows, things like that. So,
are these your made J cups here? Then these are yours.
well, those are Rogue
Okay.
J cup. They're sandwich J cups.
and then
I
you
just
made the white
yeah.
sandwich part.
Everything needs to match.
Yep. You have the Rogue newer generation monolift attachments. I have the old. These are much better than the old original ones that I have. I bought these, and then like months later, these came out. I'm like, oh, come on.
So actually, I like the functionality of the originals better.
Okay.
Personally,
Does it swing farther or something?
it just felt like it was further. It felt like the re-rack position was closer in height to where you unrack it. So
Okay.
sometimes with these ones, depending on where you are in your uprights, your re-rack position is going to be a little bit higher than where you unrack. So like if you're cutting it really close on your tolerances, you go to re-rack, you're going to smash right into the front of them.
Right. The originals are very heavy.
Yeah, that was I sacrificed a little worse utility for
like
easy portability.
Right.
Because,
I can see that for sure.
Yeah, it was a nightmare getting those old style ones.
I just pointed out because we talked about it earlier. A couple of interesting collars here. We did a collar rundown a little bit ago, and here's where you have two of the most common ones that people said, "Hey, you don't have these two. You should check these two out." It's the Titan, whatever this Titan one's called,
Twist locks.
Twist locks, and then the Kepi Fitness one. People mentioned this one several times too.
Yeah, I mean those are two of my favorite collars. The twist locks I think just look cool.
Yeah, they are. It's knurled. It's clean. It kind of looks like it's trickery almost. Like how does that even work? It just looks like a ring that you're putting on the barbell.
The Kepis are nice because they work on standard bars. They also work on axle bars as well. So and then plus you don't need to actually remove it all the way off the bar, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Again, I don't really use collars a lot, but when I do,
you have them there.
Yeah.
You have the Rogue deep dish plates on your rack. We looked at the rep plates back there, and then you've got the Rogue deep dish here on the rack. And we were talking about your weight horns that you've got on here. What's the story on these weight horns?
So that's kind of a new product I'm working on. Those are 3D printed weight horns with steel bolts inside, which allows, if people wanted to customize which colors they wanted, they'd be able to do that. That's a change plate holder just for the smaller plates. Again, just something that people can customize with different colors. I made a nice little rounded edge just to get plates on as easy as possible. That's a new product that should be coming out pretty soon. But it's just nice, single bolt versus, covering your whole upright in, 2 bolts for every single horn.
Right.
So just a little bit of space saving, especially, where I can store my J cups on those uprights now, where before with 2 bolts for every horn, it was just impossible.
We talked about your Rogue Rhino. You've got that band running from the handle on the Rhino to a peg up on the top. What's the band do?
So the band, if you're going to do something where you're not squatting and not holding onto the handle, so like say you're doing like a row or something, so as you pull the Rhino, engage the Rhino, essentially that band will pull the handles in and lock them towards you.
Right.
So it's just, kind of a little bit of a hack, I guess. When you're doing, anything with, where your hands are tied up. Right. And essentially, I took an anchor and attached it to the bottom of the Rhino. That way, when you're still holding the bar, you can basically just kind of kick in the Rhino into its lock position.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have custom handles on the Rhino.
So those are 28 millimeter Mutant Metals handles.
Yep.
I picked those up secondhand, but once I got them, I'm like, oh, I guess I need an UDA now.
Okay, yeah.
So I just placed an order a little while ago for a UDA that'll ship sometime this year.
Okay. All right. The front of the rack, I didn't even talk about it yet. You got a couple bars up here. We'll talk about the bars, but what the heck are these bars sitting on? For anyone that doesn't know.
Yeah, so that's called the dock.
Yeah.
And just another bar storage product that I sell. I like to get things out of my way when I'm not using them. So kind of like the Anchor, where it stores bars up and out of the way. You know, for certain people, like this type of setup with a half rack setup, you know, the dock's pretty nice just to keep your bars as high as you can. Just because, you know, storage space is one of like the limiting things for most people's home gyms.
Right.
So basically, most of my products have been designed to like save space.
Which makes sense because if you're in here, you can see you've become an absolute expert at doing that. So it makes sense that those are some of your most popular products that do. So that's the dock. The actual barbell anchor itself, I mean, I see several hanging from the rack. That's what your collars were hanging from.
Yeah.
Do you have a barbell anchor in this gym that's being used in the most conventional manner?
I don't at the moment because ever since, you know, when I originally had my rack, I didn't have the Rhino in it, so I always lifted inside of the rack, which is why I developed the Anchor, because I was moving my Mars bar in and out of the rack, and that thing was, especially with the hockey stick old monoliths with the safety straps, getting my Mars bar in was just a nightmare. So that's why I designed the Anchor, but then once I moved to a half rack configuration, I'm like, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to stick a bar in there.
Right.
But I still might at some point because, you know, I don't really have a deadlift area in the gym where I'll probably start deadlifting mostly off the Rhino.
Okay.
So at that point, it might make sense to get kind of like a custom bar made that's, you know, without the sleeves on it. That basically just connects to the Rhino.
Right. That's, you know, maybe 28.5 or 29 millimeters and knurled well. Yeah, that's cool. That's a good idea. The bars up here, this looks nice. You've got the Rogue Agro what?
That's an Agro 2.
Agro 2.
That's my favorite bar.
It's pretty nice.
By far. Above it is a...
Kind of makes me feel like I need one of those. The more I look at it, I'm like, it does look pretty sweet.
Gotta hit that quota.
Yeah. What's above it?
That is a Gymway Oni bar.
Okay.
So that was like a kind of a custom project for Discord that Gymway did.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
That's a great bar too, actually. I'm not a huge fan of chrome, personally.
So it's a chrome shaft.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, everything feels passive in comparison to this Agro, probably, but it's still really good. It's still good knurling on there.
Yeah, no, I mean that's probably my secondary bar, but the Agro 2. You know, I had just the standard stainless steel high power bar before that.
Yeah.
Which when I first got that, I'm like, this is really aggressive. This thing's going to tear my hands up. And then after a while, you know, your hands kind of just build up the calluses.
Yeah. This is legitimately what I would call like sharp. Where you're like, you're not going to cut your hand, but it's like, it is sharp.
It's sharp. You know, the Agro 3 though, like I had one of those come in for a bit, and that one I'm like, I can't even use this bar. I'm like, it's so uncomfortable to use this bar for anything. So no, the Agro 2, that's, by far of all the bars I've tried, that's my favorite power bar.
Okay. You've got a few more bars in the back. Everyone's got this bar, Tommy. Every gym we go to in California, they have the Rep Open Trap Bar. Legitimately, I don't know if we've been to a gym yet that they don't have the Rep Open Trap Bar.
It's a great bar. I don't use it a ton, mainly just because of like where I have it stored right now. It's kind of a pain to get out. It's really nice. It's really well made. But yeah, it kind of lives in the back of the gym at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, then you've got this. Is this Oak Club?
Oak
9-bar vertical barbell.
Yeah, they're.
Stand.
I think they call it the Club Collector, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. So a few bars in here now.
Yeah. So Mars bar, we talked about that. Kind of an iconic squat bar. You've got the Kabuki Cadillac bar.
Yep.
Now. All right, Rest in Power Kabuki in their bars. This right here, the Oak Club VHS bar.
Black Widow.
But my wires crossed. The Black Widow, Big Dean at Black Widow. This has the iconic Black Widow powder coating on it that you almost have to feel to understand.
Yeah, that's a great. I love that bar, especially. I love overhead press. You know, not having to tuck your head out of the way. And most of the time I'm wearing a hat, and I always forget that on the first rep.
Right, knock it off.
Yeah, so that thing goes flying. So with the cutout, it's pretty nice for overhead press.
You've got a short, straight Titan bar here.
That's the first bar I ever bought.
Okay.
That's why I have no use for it. I'll never use it again.
Sentimental.
But yeah, I'm just going to keep it.
And you have the Rogue Curl Bar.
Rogue Curl bar. Yep.
This is I don't know, kind of like an Olympic bar. I don't know if this is a Rogue or what this one is. But
no, it's just some Alibaba white label.
Yep. You got this little bar, the Oso.
Yeah, that's for the kids.
Yep.
What's that weigh?
I think it's 5 pounds, and I think it has like a 30-pound weight capacity, but it has 2-inch sleeves, which is nice.
Okay, then what are these two bars? This has a very ribbed sleeve, this bar.
That is a bar from a company called ZKC. I don't know if they exist anymore.
Okay, well, we don't need to rep them too much then.
Yeah.
Can't even buy one. And then this one is, I don't know what bar this is for sure either.
That is an American barbell.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think they call it Elite Power.
Yep.
No, that one doesn't get used either.
Okay.
That kind of just stays there now.
That knurling feels a little familiar to me if you say it's American barbell, actually. I can picture that then. Oh, so you have a pretty sweet barbell collection, but no room for more bars. What is there any other bars that you want, or are you kind of good on that?
The only thing I'd probably do is, so like this is, the Mars bar is 65 pounds. They have like a 35-pound version now.
Right.
Probably looking to swap that out at some point, just because just easier to maneuver in and out.
Yeah.
But outside of that, there's not really too many bars at this point. Might look at getting just a normal axle bar at some point.
Okay.
Don't
A Black Widow axle.
Yeah.
We just got a
Yeah, I saw your, yeah.
Yeah. It's a good choice.
Yeah.
You got more shorty bars in stuffed in the back of the rack here.
Yeah, anywhere I can store stuff basically gets used in this garage, whether it's for gym stuff or for
otherwise.
or the company gym stuff.
What about what the heck's this thing?
That's a Warhammer.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Can I touch it?
Yeah. So that's from Game of Thrones.
So who wields this in Game of Thrones?
King Robert.
Baratheon?
Baratheon, yeah.
Okay. Wouldn't want to get hit by this thing.
No,
so what happens if you miss your RPE 10 set? Darko comes and whacks you with this thing. Yeah.
So yeah, I've been looking to mount it somewhere, and I just haven't gotten to that yet.
It kind of looks like an old powerlifting award, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. Anything else that I didn't talk about in the gym that you're like, I wish we would have talked about that? Because most times we don't miss anything. I probably missed 100 different things in here, honestly. So is there anything that pops into your mind that you wish we would have talked about?
Just I got like a bunch of like small things kind of hanging around.
Yeah.
So this is actually one of the first like product concept ideas I came up with.
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier.
And so it's for like a loading pin style lat pull down. So something like a surplus strength or, kind of the DIY, pulleys. So you basically sit this down, you load your normal plates, you stick this on top through the loading pin.
Yep.
But then it allows you to add, change plates.
You could put like a 2.5 on each side or something like that.
5s, 10s.
Yeah.
That way you can do like kind of like drop sets.
Right.
Or if you're working out with somebody. So it just allows you to, because if you have to unclip your cable every time from the loading pin to take weights on and off.
Right.
It's just kind of annoying.
Yeah.
So this is actually one of the first things that I ever really put together for the gym.
That's cool.
Still hoping to make that a product. I'm not sure how popular it would be at this point. Just so many people have moved on to like Aries and Athenas and
right. And I suppose every time you're thinking about a new product or what you're doing, like is it like, can I make it? The answer is maybe yes, but then like, is it feasible?
Yeah.
Like, is this sellable? Like, can I make this at a price that people can buy it at, and it makes sense to do it or not?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like this product this one's retired.
Right.
It was just the cost to make it was just so high, and then just the labor to get it all put together. Because I would do it would come with a custom cut cable, to whatever length someone wanted.
Yeah.
So yeah, certain products you're like it's a cool product, but just doesn't make a whole lot of financial sense to keep doing it.
Right. Is there any major changes or upgrades? We talked about bars. Maybe there's a bar, maybe an axle or something like that. Anything else with the gym? Anything that you'd love to do at some point in the future? Or are you feeling pretty good about it?
I'm feeling pretty good. Since we came back from Home Gym Con, I kind of went a little berserk in upgrading a lot of the stuff in the gym. So like even the plates, those I got a couple months ago. Those were I had like Rogue Echo V2 bumpers.
Okay.
But I'm like
these look good on the rack.
They look
good on your setup. You made a good choice upgrading on those.
So I picked those up. Obviously, got the Repins this year. Got the leg press this year. The Voltra. Just a number of things where I'm like, kind of a lot of end game stuff I've kind of gotten at this point.
Yeah.
So
you'll think of something. You're going back to Home Gym Con. You're going to come back again this section and be like, Actually, now I got a lot of other ideas too.
So yeah, probably a few small things that I'll pick up.
Yeah.
Should we do a quick just mention of
Well, that's what I think. Before we wrap up, I'd say we're going to do another video with Darko. We talked about the Vulture. We'll do a video on that. But we're also going to do a separate video on what you really haven't seen that much of, or you may be seeing in the background of us, is this half of his garage, where is basically your workshop of everything that, all the stuff we talked about that you made over there, it actually just came from right over here. So we're going to do a separate video on that. I don't know if it comes up before this one, after this one, wherever in the lineup, but maybe be out on the lookout for that one soon, where we talk about some of this stuff, because you got a cool thing going here also. So mention again the website, if anyone wants to buy any of your stuff that we talked about. Where do you go?
So the website's darkolifting.com. Yeah, a number of products on there, mostly geared towards home gym users. But yeah, it's kind of, this is where I hang out all day.
Yeah, I can verify this is a certified training facility. All the products are of the highest quality. We don't certify people that make bad stuff. We only certify people that make the best stuff. So do check out everything that Darko's got going on. Thank you for watching. Let us know what was your favorite thing we found in Darko's gym today, because it's kind of insane, all the small stuff that fits in here. Let us know what you think Darko's missing, that he needs to upgrade here this next year, because you can never be done. Check out all of our home gym tours. We've been doing a whole bunch of them. Check out the links in the description. We've got a bunch of affiliate links and that sort of thing. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next time.